Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here. I am here in the wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's just home normally to the Golden Knights, but this weekend was home to the Frozen Four, which is what I was out here for, as I am a big college hockey fan, and I've gone to a lot of games, and this is my first time at a Frozen Four. And before we get to all those great games that happened, how do we even get to Vegas in the first place? Take a look at the season that I've seen.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Before we make it to Vegas, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning of season, to the great month of October, where college hockey really dives into the season. And we're on October 3rd, all the way back there, we're at Merrimack at UMass Lowell, and it's a 4-0 UMass Lowell win. Terrible game, just no notes, just bad. The band was good, at least, and they had a funny icing ad that mocked us a lot. Like every 5 icings you got, they were like, oh, do you have an icing problem? Clever ad. I liked that. Jump forward a week, October 10th, a rematch against UMass Lowell, but this time at home at Merrimack. 4-1 win with an empty net to seal the game. A very well-rounded win and good puck movement. Great goaltending from the one and only Max Lundgren. Good defense apart from the one mistake that led to the goal. And lots of hustle. Great bounce-back game within Hockey East and splits the season series against Lowell so far. Really, that's the turnaround they needed after a week 1 poor show. October 24th, number 6, Quinnipiac at Merrimack. A 4-1 Merrimack win. Other than one bad penalty that led to a goal, it was a dominant win over a ranked team. Pretty big early season, big name win. Crowd had a good energy and team looked energized and ready. That's a win you want to see at the start of the season. October 30th, unofficially ranked 21, Northeastern at 11, Boston College. 4-1 Northeastern with an empty net win. Great student attendance, but no band. I never really seemed to catch a band at BC, which is, kind of unfortunate. About half full other fans. Boston College thinking they are more Boston than Northeastern is kind of amusing. That's just not how that works, but that's okay. A good Northeastern section. They always travel well within the Boston area, so that's always fun. BC are good chanters, but not good chirpers, and there's a big difference. BC really only feels threatening with the man advantage, which is kind of weird. Pretty convincing win for Northeastern. Chippy last 3 minutes of garbage time. I mean, that's a Boston game right there for you. November 6th, 6th ranked UMaine at 13th ranked UMass. 6-2 Maine wins. Band was really good. Team was not. Maine was just better. Not much crowd there, student or otherwise. UMass had 3 shots in the first, 9 after 2, and a 16 total for the game. That's bad. And it was kind of funny because I think it was like 4-1 or 5-1, and UMass scored, and Maine had kind of stopped playing for 5 minutes, and then UMass scored, and they were like, all right, we'll get another one because that was annoying. We move into the next day, November 7th, Merrimack at Boston University, 12th ranked. 3-2 BU win in overtime. That's something Merrimack knows a lot about, losing to BU in overtime. Good band, good student section. Decent MC crowd for a BU game at Aganis. Merrimack played a great game against a really good team. Pumped to steal a point off BU on the road. If you told me that before the game started, I'd be really happy with the result. It's the fact that we were that close that makes it tough. Tomorrow will either be super undisciplined and a blowout or another great close game. And we move to tomorrow, 12th, BU at Merrimack, 5-4 BU. Not scoring in a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3 has to be looked at as a major factor when losing by 1. That just can't happen. Played well enough to be a close game, but needed to convert more chances. BU was the better team. A sold-out Lawler with a lot of great energy on and off the ice. Fun game after the first period. November 14th, Merrimack at number 15, Providence. 4-2 Providence win with an empty net. They have a really good band. The weird conductor is gone that does the Flappy Bird conducting, so that's a plus. Full house and student section. I still hate this rank. It echoes, and it's annoying, just an obnoxious volume to watch a game at. It didn't feel like Merrimack played too bad, just didn't shoot enough realistically. There was a period with about 2 shots. Weirdly, the goals came off power plays, so that's a positive note. Normally Merrimack doesn't have a great power play, but this year it actually worked out really well. Chippy game towards the end of the second into the third, a lot of crowd left in the second intermission, so they missed the most interesting period of the whole game. November 15th, to finish the weekend doubleheader, number 15 Providence travels to Merrimack College, and Merrimack gets a 3-2 win. Good crowd, almost sold out. Pretty even overall, and a great performance for Max Lundgren with 40 saves and an assist. That's 2 home wins against ranked opponents on the season already. November 26th, Notre Dame at Merrimack, 5-4 Notre Dame. A lot of great defense in this one, obviously. Got to play in the band as an alum, which was a blast. Good to be back when the students aren't around. Up 3-1 after 2, and a complete collapse in the third. Game misconduct for Philip Norberg towards the end of the second was rough for the defense. Moving into December, we have December 6th, Merrimack at 14, UConn. 5-2 UConn. The new rink is beautiful. The band is great, and just too many mistakes and moments of sluggishness. We just simply got outplayed. December 12th, Yale at Merrimack. 4-1, Merrimack win with an empty net goal. Didn't play great, but good enough against a bad team, realistically. Really nice backhand goal from Nick Pierre, and got a chance to experience the life of sweets at Lawler Rink. Now that we are beyond the halfway point of the year and into almost the new year, we can start calling the MPI into effect, which is how the national tournament gets chosen, the top 16 from there. And once you're about halfway through the season, the MPI starts becoming fairly correct. So we have December 29th, 43rd, Merrimack at 51, UVM. So 2 in the bottom half. 5-4 Merrimack. We really needed that win. Big 3 points. Refs let pretty much everything go and nobody played defense. Another game where Max kept us alive. It's a running theme for the year. All bleacher seating, so it's not a comfortable place to watch a game up at the Gut. But there were no bad views of the ice. The ice does feel pretty wide, but that might be the height of the ceiling and lack of seats in the sides. Not a lot of seating along the sides of the rink, most of it behind the goals. The Gut was pretty empty, though. It is a Monday, and students are on winter break, so that's just going to happen. There was no band, which is always sad. But again, it's on break. It did make it to about half full by the middle of the first, but it is the most uncomfortable rink in Hockey East for sure. I was basically sat in like gamer, like hunch forward, try hard mode for most of the game, just trying to find somewhere comfortable. Flip to the new year and a new sport. January 2nd, basketball. Mount St. Mary's at Merrimack. 75-65 Merrimack win. Played a good game. Wasn't all that worried during most of the second half. Mostly families at the game, though. No students, no band. Merrimack is in the first in the MAC and undefeated in the conference at this point. Jump forward another week. We stay with basketball. 247th ranked Merrimack at 178th ranked Siena. 63-59 Merrimack win. Dominated in the first half, survived the second. Siena finally figured out how to score against the zone, which was terrifying. Everyone I interacted with was so helpful and very nice in Albany. Would definitely go back. January 16th, we jump back to hockey. Unofficially ranked 29th in the MPI, 40th UMass Amherst at unofficially 34. I don't know how that works. I don't think there were 34. But 30th in the MPI, Merrimack. Those numbers feel really wonky. Well, I can't check that now. I probably wrote that down wrong. 4-2 UMass with an empty net goal. Frankly, didn't play well enough to win. UMass crowd always travels well. Good energy and a sellout. January 22nd, unofficially 21-22 in the MPI Northeastern at 40th Merrimack. 4-1 Merrimack win. Other than a couple of unnecessary penalties, it was a very solid game for Merrimack, which, again, penalties can be an issue for us. An all-around good performance. Students were back, but otherwise a small crowd. Game got rescheduled only 2 weeks before, so wasn't on the ticket site for long, and Game 2 will likely be chippy in this series. January 23rd, unofficially ranked 23rd in the MPI Northeastern at 34 Merrimack. 3-1 Merrimack win with an empty net at the end. Second period had a lot of penalties by Merrimack. Otherwise, another solid performance. Max missed one early, but had a great weekend. Perfect response after being swept by UMass. It's really what they needed. January 30th, 38 UNH at 31 Merrimack. 2-1 Merrimack win. Quiet, but full crowd. Chippy start to the weekend. 2-0 first with a power play goal. Looking fresh and ready. Good win. Great way to continue off last week to get a 3-game win streak. Time to keep pushing. Moving into February 6th. 7th ranked. 6th in the NPI, Providence College at 39 UNH. This was purely to get me to the Whitmore Center before the end of the season, to check off all the rinks in Hockey East before the season ended. 6-1 Providence after UNH scored first. 5 scored in the third by Providence. That was a brutal period. Bleacher seating right behind the goal is kind of a troll. Was hoping for a real chair, but that's fine. UNH really wants to be Maine. Trying to get the crowd involved in a half-filled rink down by 5 is fairly painful. The student section filled in fully, but it was fairly tame. Granted, blowout by the end. UNH looks good when they are able to cause chaos, especially in transition. When the game is structured, Providence is just the better team. Providence really got cooking in the third after an overturned UNH go-ahead goal. Feisty end, refs are lucky there is no rematch tomorrow. February 13th, 14th ranked, 12th in the MPI, Boston College at 27 Merrimack. A 4-2 Merrimack win. Great comeback after going down 2-0 in the first. Really resilient game. Both teams scored a shorty. Somehow no goals in the 4 minutes of empty net play for either side. Sitting in the section with a bunch of the players' parents was a great experience. Great hearing from a lot of them. Moved up to 5th in the conference. February 27th, 51 UVM at 30 Merrimack. 5-2 Merrimack win. Good win. Rough refereeing. Small and quiet crowd. Could have played better, but got the result needed. Into March the 5th. 13 in both the ranking and the MPI, Boston College at 17th ranked, UMass Amherst 20th in the MPI. 2-1 UMass wins. Other than the goalie, UMass did not show up for this game for the first half. Boston College could not get their shots to fall past Harabel. Pretty chippy game throughout. The student section and all the other fans were very lively. Senior night for the band, so they were rocking. We move into the playoffs. March 11th, the wild card round in Hockey East. 45th in the MPI, 9th in the Hockey East standings. UMass Lowell travels to 28th in the MPI and 8th in the Hockey East standings. Merrimack College. 5-3 Merrimack win with an empty net. Merrimack was by far the better team for the first 2 periods. Lowell stepped up their play in the third, bringing the score from 4-1 to 4-3, but could not convert with the goalie pulled. Lundgren was just the better goalie, and that was the difference. Had my second subbing appearance in the band this season for the student spring break, so I got to see it from the band section again, which was a lot of fun. March 14th, quarterfinals in Hockey East. Made it to 2 games on this day. We start at unofficially ranked 25th, also 25th in the MPI, and 6th in Hockey East, Boston University, traveling to 14th ranked, 15th in the MPI, and 3rd in Hockey East, UConn. 5-3 UConn with an empty net. Pretty close to a sellout. I wouldn't be surprised if it was called a sellout. Good energy, a good BU contingent as well, and the refs are definitely letting them play in the quarterfinals. Fun, close, and chippy. The perfect combo for a neutral viewer. The night game, the nightcap. 30th in the MPI, 8th in Hockey East. Merrimack at 5th ranked and in the MPI and 1st in Hockey East. Providence College. 3-2 Merrimack wins it in overtime. Still hate the rink. That's not going to change. A lot of empty seats for a sellout at puck drop. That's all I'm saying. They called it a sellout, and there was a lot of empty chairs at the beginning of the game. Got a good MC contingent down there. Providence crowd sounds pretty anemic outside of goals and penalties. They just don't do much. Super tense game throughout. Merrimack scored only on the power play in regulation. and Providence was the better team playing 5-on-5, even in the overtime until the goal against the run of play. A great performance to upset the 1 seed. March 20th, the semifinal at the TD Garden. First game of the day is unofficial 24. 24th in the MPI and 8th in Hockey East, Merrimack College. Versus 14th ranked, 13th in the MPI, and 2nd in Hockey East, UMass Amherst. A 2-0 Merrimack win with an empty net goal. Very defensive game and a goaltender battle between two of the best in the conference, Max Lundgren and Michael Harabel. Merrimack brought the fans and the atmosphere. It was rocking in there for that game. UMass band is always good, but a great win for Merrimack. Moving on to the final. The second semifinal of the day, however, was 17th ranked, 18 in the MPI, and 4 in Hockey East, Boston College, versus 13th ranked, 15 in the MPI, and 3rd in Hockey East, UConn. Playing for a chance to go to the national tournament at this point as well, as they're both in that bubble zone. 4-3 UConn overtime win. Much more offensive and skill-based game. Goaltenders were not as good as the first game by far. Boston College did get robbed of a goal in the first by just an inadvertent whistle because the refs couldn't see the puck even though it was loose. Boston College student section was full but quiet at times. UConn had barely any students, but a good alumni presence, guessing they were paying more attention to basketball. The next day, March 21st, we have the final again at the TD Garden in Boston. Unofficial 24, 22nd in the MPI, and 8th in Hockey East. We have Merrimack College versus 13, 13, and 3 UConn. 2-1, Merrimack wins their first ever Hockey East championship. Blocked somewhere around 20 shots. Max got around 50 saves, and Ryan O'Connell shines at the Garden with goals in both games. Merrimack contingent was huge, energized, and loud. The red carpet was a great event. Honestly, I would recommend doing that if you're in the area and like college hockey. It's a very cool event to just go see. Tense game, but that's how Merrimack just plays. Incredible. They move on to North Dakota State in the national tournament. UConn gets Michigan State, and Providence plays Quinnipiac, rounding out Merrimack's regional in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, unfortunately, Hockey East did lose all 3 of their opening round games in the national tournament, so they will not be represented in the Final Four. But a great season all around, especially for Merrimack College.
Yep, that's me.
And the time for the Frozen Four at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas has finally arrived. Here is some of the view and the comfortable chairs I was sitting in for the Frozen Four semifinals on April 9th. First game is between number 12 Wisconsin and number 2 North Dakota. Nodak travels incredibly. I did spot 1 Merrimack jersey so far. T-Mobile is a great place to watch a game and would definitely recommend it whenever you're in Vegas. The bands not being in the sound system is mildly pointless, but cool that all 4 showed up. Nodak has a slow start, down 2-0 after the first, no goals in the second. Wisconsin killed off a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3. And they end up winning 2-1 with a no-DAC goal that they at least managed with their goalie pulled at the end of the game. There was an ECAC ref crew for today's semifinal matchup. Game 2 is between number 5 Denver and number 1 Michigan with a Hockey East referee crew. Both offenses are firing. This might be the best game of college hockey I have ever seen live. 2-1 after the first, with only one bad call. Slow to drop the puck too, which is nothing abnormal. Only one goal in the second, and we'll start the third tied at 2. Both teams score in the third to make it 3-3. No goals in that first overtime. We go to double overtime. And it is a good thing this game was out on the Pacific time zone, or else this game would have been getting over at like 2 in the morning. 4-3 Denver, 12.5 minutes into the second overtime. Our final will be Wisconsin. In between the game days was the Hobey Baker and just the rest of the national award ceremony, which did include the entirety of the Michigan team showing up to support TJ Hughes, who was nominated for Hobey Baker, but he did not win. It was Max Plant of Minnesota Duluth, and they seem like they're going to have a good year next year. The day of the final, we have a fan fest outside of the T-Mobile Arena, which was there the first day. I just didn't realize and got there too late. But there were some cool picture opportunities. You got to take a picture with the trophy and see the full bracket and all the teams in the national tournament. We then get our view back, a very similar view, just one section over, an even comfier chair, and a table for eating this time. Very fancy. And this game is between the Wisconsin Badgers at 12 and the Denver Pioneers at 5. No one seeds in the final. Hockey East refs again, a different group though. Nervy first couple of minutes, then Wisconsin asserted some dominance 1-0 after 1. A very quiet second with no goals. Denver has only managed 5 shots, but Wisconsin is only up 1 with this domination. And then Denver completely turns it around in the third period, scoring twice, winning the national championship 2-1, their 11th all-time and most of any program. Congratulations to Denver. I will definitely be returning for the Frozen Four again in Washington, D.C. next year. That is all I have for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.